Hello there and welcome to today's tutorial. In today's tutorial class, we'll be treating over 10 most repeated questions in English language. These questions have been proved to be the most repeated PostUTME questions by Nigerian universities. In today's class, we'll be solving questions or answering questions involving comprehension and summary, lexics and structure, vocabulary development, grammar and usage, and also figures of speech. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we post or upload a new video. Question 1 says, choose the option that best completes the sentence. Despite his wealth, he lives in a dash house. Despite his wealth, he lives in a dash house. Option A says spacious. Option B says luxurious. Option C, magnificent. Option D, modest. The correct answer is option D, modest, because the phrase despite his wealth suggests contrast. A modest house contrasts with being wealthy, while the others like spacious, luxurious, and magnificent, they describe houses that a wealthy person might likely own. Under exam conditions, the tip you need to use in order to answer this question is that you look for the contrast clue like despite, although, or but. This was the signal that the second part of the sentence should go against the expected. Like in this question, wealth usually suggests a luxurious house, so look for the opposites and that will give you the answer. So when you hear the word wealth, wealth suggests a luxurious house. Look for the opposites. Question 2 says, choose the word that is opposite in meaning to the capitalized word. Choose the word that is opposite in meaning to the capitalized word. The manager is very tactful in handling matters. The manager is very tactful in handling matters. A says polite, B rude, C diplomatic, D courteous. The correct answer is B, rude, because the word tactful means being sensitive or diplomatic. The opposite of that word would be rude or blunt. The other options here are similar in meaning. If you're faced with this kind of question in an exam hall, for you to quickly define the capitalized word in your own mind first, just define the capitalized word in your own mind first. In this question, we have tactful, so you define it first in your mind, then eliminate all options with similar meaning, leaving only the opposites. Question 3 says, choose the option that best completes the sentence. Choose the option that best completes the sentence. Neither of the two boys dash present. Neither of the two boys dash present. A, where. B, have been. C, was. D, are. The correct answer is option C, was. Neither of the boys was present. To explain this, we know that the word neither is a singular subject, so it takes a singular verb. Therefore, was is the correct form. Words like neither, either, each, and everyone are always singular, even if they seem plural. Memorize this rule in order to spot the correct verb without confusion. So words like this, like neither, each, everyone, are always singular even if they seem to appear in their plural form. Memorize this rule. This rule helps in under exam conditions. So if you're faced with this kind of question in an exam, just memorize this rule so you can spot the correct verb form without being confused. Question 4 says, choose the correct word to fill the gap. Choose the correct word to fill the gap. He would have arrived earlier, dash, he had left on time. He would have arrived earlier, dash, he had left on time. Option A says unless, option B although, C if, and D when. The correct answer is option C, if. It reads, he would have arrived earlier if he had left on time. Now this is a conditional statement. He would have arrived earlier if he had left on time is a correct third conditional structure. Under exam conditions, when you see the word would have, expect a third conditional that is an unreal past. Quickly match it with if plus the past perfect structure. If only he had makes grammatical sense compared to unless, although, or when. So the correct answer here is if. Question 5 says, choose the option with the correct stress pattern. Choose the option with the correct stress pattern. Photograph. Option A says photograph with the primary stress on the second syllable. Option B, the primary stress is on the first syllable. Option C, the primary stress is on the third syllable, that is graph. Option D, it has no stress. The stress is not on any of the syllables. The correct answer is photograph with the primary stress on the first syllable. Notice that the word photograph is a 3-syllable word with the primary stress on the first syllable. For stress pattern questions, say the words softly to yourself and listen where your voice naturally rises. Also memorize common stress patterns. Most nouns like photograph have their stresses on the first syllables. So just say the word to yourself softly and listen where your voice rises naturally. That will give you the correct answer. So under exam condition, just say the word to yourself. Question 6 says, choose the correct synonym for the underlined word. Choose the correct synonym for the underlined word. The teacher's voice was barely audible in the noisy class. The teacher's voice was barely audible in the noisy class. Option A, visible. B, loud. C, clear. D, heard. The correct answer is option D, heard. The teacher's voice was barely heard in the noisy class. The word audible means that it can be heard. The closest synonym is heard. Here is a useful tip for answering this kind of question. This is a useful tip on answering this kind of question. If you don't know the exact meaning of the underlined word, use context clues. Example, you have noisy class. And eliminate the word unrelated to hearing. Go with the closest meaning, not just what sounds right. Go with the closest meaning, not what sounds right. Question 7 says, choose the option that best express the meaning of the sentence. Choose the option that best expresses the meaning of the sentence. Hardly had he arrived when it started to rain. Hardly had he arrived when it started to rain. Option A, he arrived after it started raining. Option B, he arrived just before it started raining. Option C, he was caught up in the rain. Option D, he arrived while it was raining. The correct answer is option B. He arrived just before it started raining. The word hardly had he arrived when implies that immediately after his arrival it started raining. That's what that statement means. Hardly had he arrived when implies that immediately he arrived it started raining. Words like hardly, scarcely, or no sooner, it signals immediate sequence or short time gap. If confused, rephrase the sentence in your head. Something like this: he had just arrived when it started raining. That shows the correct timing. Question 8 says, choose the best interpretation of the idiom. He threw in the towel. A says he wiped his face. B, he surrendered. C, he attacked. D, he won the match. He threw in the towel. The best interpretation of the idiom, he threw in the towel. The correct answer is he surrendered. To throw in the towel is an idiom that means to give up or surrender, especially after a struggle. That is what that idiom means. To throw in the towel means that it means to give up or surrender. If someone say he has thrown in the towel, it means the person has given up or has surrendered. For answering idiomatic questions, don't translate word for word. Ask yourself, what is the meaning of this phrase as a whole? Use your previous knowledge or eliminate the normal literal option. Then pick the one that makes figurative sense to you. Question 9 says, choose the word that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word. Choose the word that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word. She has a very generous heart. She has a very generous heart. The word generous there is underlined. So which of this word is nearly opposite in meaning? Option A says stingy. Option B says kind. Option C says loving. Option D says polite. The correct answer is A, stingy. Because the word generous means giving freely. The opposite is stingy, meaning unwilling to give or share. Think of the person described. This is a tip now. Think of the person described. If generous means giving, the opposite of the word generous must be not giving. That is stingy. Eliminate distractors like kind or loving that may feel similar but don't really contrast the word. Question 10 says, choose the correct tense form. Choose the correct tense form. By the time we arrived, the guests dashed. By the time we arrived, the guests dashed. Option A says left. Option B, have left. C, had left. D, leave. The correct answer is had left. By the time we arrived implies a past perfect tense. So had left is the correct usage. This kind of question by the time indicates that one past action happened before another past action. This requires past perfect tense. So quickly match the past perfect, which is had left. It happens before simple perfect or simple past, like arrived. Simple tip for answering this question: by the time indicates that one past action happened before another past action, and this requires past perfect tense. So what you do here is you quickly match the past perfect, which is had left. It happened before the simple past arrived. So the correct answer is had left. We have come to the end of today's episode. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and leave a comment below. Thank you very much for watching. See you in our next video.